My name is Emily, and I want to tell you a story that changed my life and my marriage forever. It happened when I was 8 months pregnant with our first child. My husband Jason and I lived in a suburb of Seattle. I worked as an elementary school teacher but took maternity leave to prepare for the baby's birth. Jason was a successful manager at a large IT company. We had been married for 5 years and seemed to have the perfect life. But behind this facade, there were problems I wasn't even aware of. That fateful day started as usual. I woke up early in the morning with a pulling pain in my lower back. The pregnancy wasn't easy for me. Constant fatigue, swelling, nausea. But I tried not to complain, as we would soon become parents. Jason had already left for work, leaving a note that he'd be back early. I struggled to get out of bed and shuffled to the kitchen. After making myself some herbal tea, I sat by the window, watching neighbors rushing about their business. I so wanted to just lie down all day, rest and regain strength. But I still needed to clean the house and prepare dinner. Towards evening, Jason returned. He was in high spirits and announced the great news right from the doorstep. "Honey, my parents and sister are coming over today. We haven't seen them in a while. They've missed us. We need to prepare something delicious." I felt everything inside me tighten. Not today, when I have no strength at all. "Jason, can we reschedule for another day? I'm very tired. It's hard for me." But he seemed not to hear me. "Come on, darling. It's just dinner. We'll sit for a bit. You can handle it. I believe in you." I tried to explain how badly I felt, but Jason brushed it off. "Don't exaggerate, Em. You're strong. It's just pregnancy. We can't cancel the meeting at the last moment. What will they think?" I realized that arguing was pointless. Jason always put his family's opinion above everything else, and I was too exhausted to resist. Gathering my last strength, I shuffled to the kitchen to cook. Every movement was difficult, but I tried not to show it. Jason hovered nearby, giving valuable advice. "Maybe you could make your signature pie. And Caesar salad is a must. Mom loves it." I silently chopped vegetables, feeling resentment growing inside. Couldn't he see what state I was in? Why was his family more important than my health? When the doorbell rang, I hadn't finished yet. My heart started pounding anxiously. Jason's mother, Carol, a domineering woman in her 60s, entered the apartment. Behind her were his father, George, and sister Megan. "Well, hello, Emily," Carol said coldly, eyeing me appraisingly. "You look quite pale. Pregnancy doesn't suit you." I tried to smile, but it came out forced. "Please, come in," I mumbled. The relatives went into the living room, continuing to look around. "Where's the food?" Megan inquired, peeking into the kitchen. "I thought you'd welcome us with a feast." "Yes, the table looks quite modest," Carol supported her. "Don't you have any strength to cook something proper? In our time, women managed to work and keep house even in worse conditions." I felt a lump in my throat. I wanted to cry but held back. "I tried. It's just very difficult for me right now." "Why are you always complaining?" Megan interjected, "as if we don't know how pregnant women love to exaggerate." I lowered my head, unable to bear these reproaches any longer. Jason stood nearby but didn't even try to defend me. Somehow we sat down at the table. The relatives animatedly discussed some news, while I sat silently, feeling out of place. My head was buzzing. Everything was blurry before my eyes. "Emily, what kind of salad is this?" Carol inquired, examining the plate of vegetables. "It doesn't look festive at all." "Yeah, you could have at least made a Caesar salad. It's a classic," Megan chimed in. I felt my cheeks flush with color. I was ashamed and hurt. I understood that I didn't meet their expectations, but I was really at my limit. Suddenly, the room started spinning before my eyes. A wave of weakness washed over me, my stomach cramped. I tried to stand up to leave, but my legs gave way. The last thing I remember is frightened screams and darkness. I woke up in the hospital. A pale Jason was sitting nearby. Seeing that I had opened my eyes, he rushed to me. "Emily, thank God you're awake. How do you feel?" I tried to focus my gaze. My head was splitting. My whole body ached. What happened?" I croaked. "You lost consciousness during dinner. You had a premature placental abruption. They had to do an emergency C-section." In panic, I tried to sit up. "The baby! What about our baby?" Jason soothingly stroked my hand. "Everything's okay. He's in the neonatal intensive care unit. The doctors say his condition is stable." I fell back on the pillow, feeling relief and fatigue. Jason continued talking, but I barely listened to him. Only one thought was spinning in my head. How could I have let myself get to this point? Why didn't I listen to my body? The next few days passed in a haze. I was recovering from the surgery. Jason was constantly by my side. His parents also visited us, but now they behaved much more quietly and cautiously. When I was finally allowed to see my son, I burst into tears. So small and defenseless, he lay in an incubator, entangled in wires and tubes, but the doctors said the prognosis was good. A week later, we were discharged home. I was still weak, but happy to finally be in our own home with the baby. One evening, when our son was asleep and Jason and I were sitting in the living room, I decided to have a serious conversation. "Jason, we need to talk about what happened." He guiltily lowered his eyes. "Emily, I know I'm at fault. I should have listened to you, canceled that stupid dinner." "It's not just about the dinner." I shook my head. "The problem is much deeper. You always put your family's wishes above my needs, and I can't live like this anymore." Jason turned pale. "What do you mean by that?" "I want you to choose. Either our son and I become your main priority, or we'll have to separate." A tense silence fell in the room. I could see Jason struggling with himself. Finally, he sighed heavily. "You're right. I was selfish and an idiot. I almost lost both of you because of my stupidity. I promise everything will change. You and our son are the most important things in my life." I felt tears of relief running down my cheeks. Jason hugged me, and I realized, we'll manage. This story really changed us, but it only made us stronger. Now we're a real family, ready to overcome any difficulties together. The day after our conversation with Jason, there was a knock at the door. I opened it to find Carol, George, and Megan on the doorstep. They looked uncharacteristically subdued. "Emily, dear, may we come in? We wanted to talk," Carol said quietly. I let them in, feeling slightly tense. Jason came out of the bedroom, having heard the voices. "Mom? Dad? What are you doing here?" he asked, surprised. Carol took a deep breath. "We came to apologize. What happened at dinner, it was terrible on our part." "We didn't understand how difficult things were for you, Emily," George added. "Our behavior was unacceptable." Megan nodded. "I want to apologize too. My words were cruel and thoughtless." I was stunned. They had never apologized to me before. Jason stood next to me, putting his arm around my shoulders. "Thank you for coming, but you need to apologize not just to Emily, but to me as well. I allowed you to treat my wife this way, and that's unacceptable." Carol looked at her son in surprise, but then nodded. "You're right, dear. We were all wrong." "We want to change," George said, "to become better for you and our grandson." I felt the tension starting to ease. "Thank you. This means a lot to me. To us." We talked for several more hours, discussing our relationships, boundaries, and expectations. It wasn't easy, but I felt it was the beginning of something new. As they were leaving, Carol unexpectedly hugged me. "You're a wonderful mother and wife, Emily. I'm sorry I didn't see that before." Closing the door behind them, I turned to Jason with tears in my eyes. "Did you do this? Talk to them?" He nodded. "Yes. I realized that I need to protect our family not only from outsiders, but from our own relatives if necessary." I hugged him, feeling our bond grow even stronger. This story truly changed not just us, but our entire extended family. We had a lot of work ahead of us, but now I was confident. Together, we could handle anything. Did you like the story? Write your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next interesting story. See you tomorrow.